Welcome back to Aspects of the World with Maria. Today, we will be exploring the value of innovation in science. Now, we usually perceive the value of innovation in a more traditional way, where we view innovation as a product or something tangible that we can see and use, an application of an idea. However, I recently saw a document titled Project NIM, which took on a whole new perspective of the idea of innovation in the world of science and how it differs from the traditional view we have. Project NIM was an experiment where scientists and researchers attempted to get a chimpanzee to successfully communicate with humans and behave like humans. In an article by Live Science titled New Plastic-Based Textile Helps Cool You Off, you may be asking yourself, what do these two rhetorical texts have to do or have in common with each other? After all, one is regarding a chimpanzee, while the other is about a new textile to cool people off. So what is it that connects these two texts to have them share something in common? It's the idea and concept value of innovation and how innovation is the powerhouse to move society forward. I recently read an article by Live Science titled New Plastic-Based Textile Helps Cool You Off. Through this article, the innovation aspect is very direct to the reader because it regards an actual tangible product that was created. The innovation is not merely just an idea, but an actual application of an idea. The innovation is a new article of clothing that helps expedite the process of cooling down to
reduce body heat.
This is a new innovation produced by scientists to release heat from the body in various ways, like sweating. The modernization of this new technology is that it uses everyday fabrics and weaves in a
commercially available plastic material
to achieve this new textile and cooling off the body. Using materials that are readily available allows the clothing to be inexpensive and affordable, so that anyone can purchase it and stay cool. Another innovation of this new textile is the idea that it will
result in a far higher energy efficiency.
People today are concerned more and more in regards with the global energy crisis and how to create a sustainable, cleaner, and better energy. The article states that
engineers studying personal thermal management found that providing heating or cooling only to one person rather than the power needed to cool an entire building would result in a far higher energy efficiency.
Scientifically speaking, this makes sense. Cooling off a person would be a lot easier than cooling down a room, because one person has less surface area than an entire room. If everyone in a room were to wear this new textile that cools the body, there wouldn't be as much need for a lot of air conditioning units, which use up a lot of energy. This minimizes energy usage while still ensuring that people stay cool and comfortable. However, the innovation in Project NIM is displayed very differently than in the article, New Plastic-Based Textile Helps Cool You Off. When I first saw this film, I did not see the value of innovation displayed anywhere throughout the entirety of the film. However, after further analysis of the film again, I realized that innovation was in fact present. Merriam-Webster defines innovation as a new idea, device, or method, and throughout the film I noticed that many of the innovations from Project NIM came in the form of ideas. The first innovation I found when analyzing Project NIM was the idea that chimpanzees can adopt the idea and incorporate sign language to communicate with humans. Throughout the film, NIM was learning different words to sign, such as play, eat, bathroom, etc., to communicate with the humans that were teaching him. With the proper teaching, he was able to learn new words every day and tell people what he wanted. Even though teaching sign language to chimpanzees had been done before, it had never been previously done in this fashion or to this extent. NIM was better able to communicate with humans than any other chimpanzee had ever been able to do, and was continuing to develop more language skills than other chimpanzees. Towards the end of Project NIM, Herb decided that NIM was not producing the results he wanted to achieve and terminated the project. His new idea was that in the end, nature will prevail over nurture, and that for now we just don't wield the tools and knowledge as to how to harness communication skills between animals and humans yet. Chimpanzees cannot be taught how to act and behave like a human. Even after several years of being raised by humans and being with humans for such an elongated time, NIM was never able to fully act and behave like a human being. However, once Herb took NIM back to the place where he was born and where there were other chimpanzees, NIM only took a couple of weeks to fit in and get to know the other chimpanzees. NIM's natural chimpanzee nature was stronger than the fabricated human nurture he received because he was not able to act and behave like a human, but quickly learned to be a chimpanzee again once taken back. Herb thought that NIM's project was a failed one because although NIM was able to learn how to sign words, he was never able to comprehend how to sign full sentences or fully communicate like a human would to another human. I believe that this was not a failed experiment, though, because a new idea was formed from all of this. You cannot teach a chimpanzee how to behave and act like a human because it is not in their nature to do so. From this idea comes the innovation that this type of experiment should not happen again because it simply did not work. Besides it from not working and being, as Erb called it, successful, it is not fair to the chimpanzee to be taken away from its home, and these types of experiments are never ethical. But that is a whole separate argument. So after careful examination of Project NIM, it became obvious that there is a lot of innovation in the form of new ideas, although it may not come off as obvious at first. Innovation is everywhere and happens often more times than people give credit to, mainly because innovation is associated with a positive connotation. But innovation can result from failure as well. Thomas Edison once said, "I didn't fail, I just found 2,000 ways not to make a light bulb. I only needed to find one way to make it work." Innovation happens all the time, from both successes and from failures. Project NIM incorporates film and footage to help convey the idea that innovation is in the film. However, by using the images and footage, one is able to see how Nim is progressing throughout his time learning how to sign and communicate with humans. It shows that science is always growing and changing and advancing. Although at first, one may not necessarily see the innovation of the film because there are so many different things going on, but upon careful analysis, you can see that there is a lot of innovation throughout the film. In the article, New Plastic-Based Textile Helps Cool You Off, however, it is a lot easier to see the innovation because it is something that is actually tangible. A new cloth that helps someone cool off. I chose to juxtapose these very different texts because I found it interesting how the two, although very different in content and format, both were still able to convey the value of innovation in science. Although these two texts are very different in many ways, one regards a chimpanzee and the other is about a new textile that helps people stay cool. They are both connected through their value of innovation. Through the juxtaposition and analysis of both texts, I have come to define innovation as the basis of science. A formation of new concepts, products, procedures, anything that comes from an experiment or invention. Innovation is consequential in everything related to science. Some may even say that innovation is science. We may have to see innovation in different ways depending on the text, but without innovation, what would the purpose of science be? There wouldn't be any, because nothing can be achieved without the component of innovation.